OK, as you can see, Alan Owen is live for us at Anfield, ready to talk to us about all of this. So tell us about the timing, Alan. From a Liverpool point of view, of course, they saw this coming, right?
Yeah, I think there was certainly an inevitability about it, Vicky. The contract negotiations between Liverpool and the three players, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold, have been a constant area of discussion with the fans, everyone connected with Liverpool throughout the course of the season, really. And once Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk had extended their deals and nothing was coming from Trent Alexander-Arnold, there was an expectation that this announcement would eventually come before the end of the season, and it did come at 10 o'clock this morning, as you heard from Trent Alexander-Arnold there. And that was shortly followed by the statement from Liverpool themselves, which read briefly that the 26-year-old will bring his 2-decade-long association with the Reds to an end, having made the decision to depart Anfield once his deal ceases June the 30th this year. Alexander-Arnold will depart with our gratitude and appreciation for his contribution during a sustained period of success. Yeah, this is a player, as he said there, it's a very difficult decision, a very hard decision for him to make, having spent 20 years at the football club. It's been his life. Our understanding is that he will be at Real Madrid next season. Contract talks, I should say, are ongoing, and we understand they are at an advanced stage as well. So I think that was an expectation of the fans as well. It should also be said that Liverpool did their absolute utmost to try and retain the services of Trent Alexander-Arnold. The discussions to extend his contract or get him to stay began last season and continued in the early part of this season, even before sporting director Richard Hughes was on board. It was an immediate task that he wanted to deal with, and Liverpool did, we understand, turn down an approach from Real Madrid in the last transfer window in January that was rebuked flatly by Liverpool. They didn't want to lose the services of Trent Alexander-Arnold at that time, as it was such an important stage of the season. And as to the timing of it, well, as Trent said, he wanted to concentrate on the football. He didn't want it distracting anything from what was happening on the pitch. But now the league title has been won and the celebrations have taken place. He feels it is the right time to make this announcement that he will be leaving Liverpool Football Club.
OK, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Alan. I'm delighted to say the former Liverpool defender, Stephen Warnock, joins us now live. Good to see you, Stephen, as always. Look, first of all, what did you make of the way that Trent has announced the decision, and particularly perhaps today?
Yeah, I think he's been respectful to the club and their approach to the Premier League. I think he says that in the way he goes about it. He spoke at the beginning of the season, or when the talks were coming about the contract situation, he just said, I'll keep that in-house, I'll do things my way. I never speak publicly about things, and he's stuck to his word. And then obviously when they've won the Premier League and now it's been done, he feels that now is the right time to announce his decision. I think he's done it in the right way.
Yeah, Stephen, does he leave with your best wishes?
He leaves with mine. I think there'll be a lot of Liverpool fans who are disappointed that he's leaving. A great player, an important player for Liverpool, and also as well, he's, as they say, he's one of their own, a local lad, and he's an incredible talent. So I think there's a feeling amongst Liverpool fans that they accept that he's leaving now, but they'd still like to see a fee come in for him for a player of his quality, and they're going to have to try and replace that in the summer. But I think for what he's done for the football club, having won everything from a local lad coming through, you have to send him with his best wishes and wish him all the best. And ultimately, it's his choice what he decides to do in his career and where that can take him.
Yeah, do you think that's what split the Liverpool fans a little bit, in terms of there are a few that are relatively furious and say that actually should be completely loyal to the club and stay there forever?
Yeah, it's different when you become a player. People are... listen, Trent will have grown up being a Liverpool fan, and he'll have wanted to win everything with the football club, but ambition changes throughout your career, and there's an ambition of his to go and further himself and change his life path, if you like, and go and play for Real Madrid, if that is the club that we think he's all going to join. It probably will be. But he obviously wants to go and challenge himself in a different way and feels that that is the next step in his career. And I fully understand that. I really do. When you see the quality of players at Real Madrid, and people will say, well, they're not what they were this season to what they've been and improve them as a football club and make them better. So, it's not ideal because of, I say, Vicky, that the fee. I think that's what's disappointing most Liverpool fans, is that there hasn't been a fee received for him. But the club have let his contract run down. The club have allowed that to get to a situation where that's happened. They did turn down a bid at in the January transfer window. So there could have been money made from Liverpool towards Trent, but they've decided to keep hold of him till the end of the season and make sure that they secure that important Premier League title.
You mentioned it there, Stephen. Do you blame the club for that then, the fact that they didn't get a fee for him?
Well, you have to look at that side of things. If the club wanted to keep hold of Trent, then it's a very difficult situation, because in Trent's eyes, he was probably thinking the best way to leave would be a free transfer to go to Real Madrid because of the situation. Would he have got out for a huge fee last season? Possibly not. But Liverpool, perhaps in the summer, thought we could have gone and sold Trent for, I don't know, 50, 60 million. But would that have worked in chasing down the Premier League title this season? Would you have took that gamble? Would you have rather won the Premier League this season or received 40 or 50 million? Because you stand a better chance of winning that title with him in the team. Conor Bradley probably isn't quite ready yet, or wasn't at the beginning of the season. Might be different next season, but they just obviously didn't want to take that gamble on losing a player of his quality, especially this season with all the changes of the managerial side of things and behind the scenes.
Yeah, you make a really good point there, actually. Look, is he well suited to succeed at Real Madrid? I mean, he's got quite a nice few players that he's going to rub shoulders with.
Yeah, he'll back himself with any player. He's got that quality, incredible passing range. He will. I mean, the hardest thing he'll find is obviously settling in the country and learning the language. Whether he's been learning the language behind the scenes, we know he's an intelligent lad. So I'm sure he's done his work already, leading up to signing. And
Stephen, we are losing you a little bit. You're coming in and out like the tide, as my mum would say. So I'm going to carry on with it, but just fingers crossed you can still hear us. I think you're back. Can you just repeat what you just said?
Sorry, I was just saying about he's a very intelligent lad, Trent, and he'll have obviously tried to adapt and understand the language and learn the language as quick as possible. Then it's about, can you fit into the lifestyle in Spain and get comfortable straight away. But there's no doubt in the quality on the pitch. I think the Real Madrid players will be excited for him to join. The forward players will be delighted to see him coming into the team because of that quality that he possesses, his ability to pick passes, to find crosses, key moments in game. He's a big game player. And I'm sure he'll relish that opportunity, and his teammates will be looking forward to him coming in.
Yeah, it sounds like you think he's going to improve Real Madrid.
I think he improves any team because of the quality that he possesses. I think the big question will be his defensive vulnerabilities. Will he improve on that side of his game? Will he play that inverted midfield position when he steps inside? I think there's so many questions that we're looking forward to seeing and being answered when Trent does eventually make that move, what his position will be and how he will fit into that system. I think it'll also allow the likes of Valverde, Camavinga to make sure that they're playing at, well, definitely Valverde playing in that central midfield position, which strengthens Real Madrid, and then they have a natural right back, having missed Carvajal for large periods of the season.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have a new manager, obviously Carlo Ancelotti going at the end of this season. Interestingly, could be somebody that he knows very well. You wonder whether conversations like that have already gone on, but I guess also maybe a little bit nervous to see who it might be. Do you think? I
think he'll know. I think they'll have an idea already who's going to come into the building. We'll be excited to see a signing of Trent Alexander-Arnold's quality and knowing that he's now part of that Real Madrid squad. So for a manager coming in, I think it's a great addition to the squad for him. he'll back himself to play under any manager, and I think any manager in world football would be happy to add a player of his quality into their team.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, we heard him say that he wants to be the very best, doesn't he? He wants to win the likes of the Ballon d'Or. Do you think this will give him more chance, or perhaps would he have had that opportunity had he stayed at Liverpool? Where do you stand on that debate?
Yeah, well, I think if you look at the history of the Ballon d'Or over the last sort of couple of decades, it's always been in and around Spain, hasn't it? So the records tell you that not many other players from different countries win it. So he'll have looked at that information, took it on board, and thought, I do stand a better chance of going to Real Madrid and winning the Ballon d'Or there. Whether he can achieve that, he's going to have to try his best to make sure that he impresses when he's playing, and hopefully he can go on and do that, because we know.
Oh, are you sorry? I think you went and you've come back again. Just finally, then I'm just going to try one more final question. In terms of him on the pitch, his creativity, you mentioned Conor Bradley. How much do they miss him? How much of a gap is Trent Alexander-Arnold going to leave?
He'll leave a huge gap because of that quality, that ability to change a game single-handedly. So often we've seen it. He adds a different dimension when he steps into that midfield area. He is a different type of player to Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley is probably a better ball carrier than Trent Alexander-Arnold, perhaps a little bit better in defensive situations. So they are going to miss that. I think that'll be in the summer and what they do in the transfer window, the type of replacement or someone who will come in and push Conor Bradley for maybe a year or two, and then Conor Bradley will take over the reins full time. So it's going to be a very interesting transfer window to see what they do on that front, because you are missing one of the best players in world football, and I think that's apparent for everyone to see.